Before I open the chassis bag, which I have upside down here, make sure you take the servo from your electronics box, this right here. Now, something that I do recommend you do is run power through it just to make sure that it's centered. You may be needing that little wrench. If you do not have that wrench, I will not be using this. These are the Allen wrenches that come with it. Those are the ones I keep telling you to avoid. We will need the battery tie, so I'm going to keep this right here. And the battery tie and those wrenches come in this main bag. But for now, we will be working with the chassis bag. Later. Now the tub chassis here, oh actually we do not need this, that's a spare. This is really the main difference between the Stampede and the / four-wheel drive. This is much shorter, you're going to get a shorter shaft later on. If you just replace this with the longer one, you can turn this into a / four-wheel drive. So keep that in mind. Alright, so we have our silicone grease right over here, and we're going to be sealing with our silicone grease. You don't need to. Here we go. We'll open this one as well. Now this, we need to open it for the tie. So just open all the bags, but keep everything separate. Now this does have a different battery tie system because the Slash has one similar to the Fortec where it's just an arm and it opens, pivots, closes, and there's a clip, built-in clip. This one, you need one of these clips, similar to a / two-wheel drive. But here we go. All right, we have this right here. So some of the things that we're gonna need this component later. This is the one I'm looking for. All right, we have this one right in here. Now in this little slot, there's a nut that goes in there, and it's the only silver nut that comes in here, and this is for the motor mount. Now, it is a nylon nut. You want the nylon on this side. You want the non-nylon on this side. And all you do is you just drop it in. So notice the orientation. If I can drop it in, there it is. And that is it. This is where the motor mount is going to mount to. That's the reason why that goes there. Now we have this little square piece of plastic, and this one here. Let's see. All right. Need to flip it. This will go in here. So it's it's an L shape, as you can see. So you want the L shape to go in here, and it will go right in there. So the high part is going to go on this side. That's the low part. And if you look at the rear, it will create this flat area right in there. So that's how that is mounted. And did not separate the screws. This one's easy. All right, these will go to the servo. These are the ones with the large head. I'll just place them there. There's the fourth one. There, countersunk, go there. unscrew, short countersunk. Alright, little countersunk screws. This is a different size. That one goes there. And that is it. So we have this right here. All right. Now I can continue with the build. All right. One of the things that we're going to need, so this here, we're going to need one of these screws here. Now, we do have 4 screws, but for the servo, we only use 3 of them. The 4th one is going to be used for that. And this is just going to pivot here. That's what it's for. So we will go ahead and grab this. We're orienting it that way. This one's going to go in here. And it should be a 2.5. With the Titan 12 turn, there's no need, but if you're running a high-powered system, some people do replace these with aluminum ones. I've never had an issue, to be honest, but you know, some people overgear, overpower, overgear. So we have that step. Now we need this one, so it's a 3x6, 3x6, and it's a, looks like it's a countersunk screw. It is a countersunk screw. And 3x6, that's a small one. That's this one right over here, and then we can always measure. And that is it. That is one of the things I do like about this manual. It does have this little ruler on the bottom, which to many will not be a big deal, because some of the other kits, what they have is they have scale pictures, so you can always just grab the screw and place it on top of the picture. Here we go. So this part is complete at this time. I can now go ahead and grab the tub. So the tub goes here, and everything, all of these knobs point toward the rear. That's the rear, this is the front. So the servo goes toward the front, the motor will go to the rear. So 2 screws that we're going to be installing are this one and this one, and these are these two are 10 millimeter screws, and they are button heads. So now I need to look for those button heads. 10 millimeter, this looks like 10 millimeter. This is an 8, so it's these here. These are it. So this 8, this is going to go on the bottom. All right. And these parts so far are interchangeable with the /4-wheel drive. And I'm liking this build so much that I'm hoping that somehow Traxxas runs into this video and actually watches it and decides to make a platinum kit for the /4-wheel drive. Like I mentioned before, they used to have an actual platinum. The platinum came pre-assembled, came with the body. You just had to paint the body, and then you had to use your own transmitter and receiver, and that was it. But if they made a kit, that would be amazing. All right, so the 8 millimeter screw, which was that tiny screw, this one is going to go down here. So it connects to this, but from the bottom of the chassis. Now this is a much shorter tub, so it may not be as big of an issue as it is with the /4-wheel drive. But /4-wheel drives, the tubs actually break quite often. They break in the front, which is why a brace, a chassis brace, upper brace is recommended. But this one, the tub is so much shorter, tires are so much larger, it may not be such a big issue. So the 4-wheel drives tend to break right around here. But here we go. So we have this. Now we just have to mount the servo. So the servo, this is the front, that's the rear. This will go toward the front, so the wire will be facing the front, and it should key right in there. So it has these little slots here, which correspond to those little tabs on the servo. It should just fall right in place. We'll just be using these. Should be a 2.5 millimeter driver, and you're going to have a screw on each of the front two holes, and then the inner rear hole. Let me just get that one close. I don't need to tighten it at the moment. And do not over tighten these. That is a big problem. That's how a lot of people ruin their tubs, and then the servo starts wanting to jump out or come out, and then the steering response isn't as crisp as it should be. And yes, there are servos out there that are much better servos, but this is really all you need. For this anyway. Alright, and that is that. So now at this point, what we need to do is we will be taking this, and we'll take our driver. And this is a 5.5 millimeter driver. This will just go in here. And if you do bash really hard, these clips will actually come off, and then your battery would fly off as well, and you could damage your battery packs. I do recommend that you use hard case, soft case battery packs. If those bounce off the pavement, you're going to ruin them quite fast. Let's see. Oh, perfect. There we go. Now we need the rear part of the tie. So we have this. These two holes go forward because this is where the battery tie comes in, and this just drops right in here, right in place, just like that. And you're going to need your countersunk screws for these, and it's a 15 and a 15. And here I'm only seeing one 15, which is this one. So unless there's a 15 somewhere else, I am missing a 15. It certainly does seem like I'm missing a 15. Oh, there's only one 15 countersunk. The other one's a button head. I apologize, everything is good. So the countersunk screw will go on the left side, so the outer part. From where I'm sitting, I was just looking at the picture. I did not read the BCS or CCS. That's the reason why. There we go. What I really like actually is if Traxxas made a short course this size. This would be great. I know they have I believe it's a 1/16 scale, but the motor's really high up, and it has that F1 style suspension similar to the Revo. But if they made one like this one, just shorter arms, I think that would be great. Let's see. All right, so we have that. Now we need this little plastic guard. This plastic guard, if you look at the orientation, will go right up here. And it should be, unless I got it wrong, which is also a possibility. Let me just look at this a little more careful. Wait, is it? Yes, other way. This makes sense. Oh wow, this fits right in there. Alright, so just flip it. The one that sticks out goes toward the rear. And here you're going to be using one of these button screws that is a 15 millimeter, so it's one of these, and that will go here. And I like this little dust cover. I do not believe the Slash 4-wheel drive has it unless they added this cover. But Platinums did not have it. I do not believe the Ultimates had it either. So if those two models did not have it, then the other ones probably did not. And now we need a button screw, 6 millimeter. This looks like a 6 millimeter. That is a 6 millimeter. This will go here. And that is it. Great, so now I can use the battery tie. Now the battery tie is going to be marked 25 millimeter. So whatever's facing up, that's the size it can take. So this is 23, so lower profile is 25. I'll place it this way. And I'll drive that one in. And now all I have to do is just connect the speed control. Again, the speed control is in your electronics box. And do read the literature, all of these. I've already read them 20 billion times, just from all the vehicles that I've worked on. Here we go. So the button, you want the power button facing out, and it's the ESC that will actually hold the other side in place. So you will need 15s. We know these are the 15s. The only downside to an assembly like this, I mean, it makes sense just because of the reduced spaces. If you ever have to service the receiver, you do have to remove the ESC. Not a big deal, but something to keep in mind. And you can install a VXL system. The VXL system will simply use this outer hole. And that is it. So this is complete. We'll continue with the rest of it on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment below and go ahead and subscribe if you have not already. Thank you for watching.
Oh, what? Oh, my hair! My tongue! My rod!